You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is the top 5 things to know in the market on Tuesday from investing.com. The first is 16 states sue Trump over border wall funds. A coalition of 16 states led by California filed a lawsuit challenging President Donald Trump's national emergency declaration to obtain funds for building a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. The lawsuit, filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California on Monday, came after Trump invoked emergency powers late last week to build a border wall, along the nation's southern border. Trump's order would allow him to spend funds that Congress appropriated for other purposes. Congress declined to fulfill his request for $5.7 billion to help build the wall this year. Second thing to know is U.S.-China trade talks resume in Washington. A new round of trade talks between the United States and China begins in Washington. This is as the two sides race to reach a deal that would avert a tariff increase on Chinese goods by March 1st. Talks are aimed at achieving needed structural changes in China that affect trade between the U.S. and China. The two sides will also discuss China's pledge to purchase a substantial amount of goods and services from the U.S., the White House said in a statement on Monday. The discussions follow a round of negotiations that ended in Beijing last week without a deal, but which officials said had generated progress to contentious issues between the world's two largest economies. U.S. tariffs on $200 billion in imports from China are set to rise 25% to 10% if no deal is reached by March 1st. But Trump said he may extend the deadline if the two sides were close enough to an agreement. The third thing to know today is U.S. futures pointed to a lower open pre-open. U.S. stock futures pointed to a subdued open at the start of the trading week as market participants awaited developments from the U.S.-China trade talks. Financial markets were closed Monday for Washington's birthday, more widely known as President's Day. Elsewhere, European stocks edged down slightly, falling from highs not seen since October as disappointing results from HSBC and BHP Group underline concerns over slowing corporate profits, while Germany's ZEW index showed only a modest improvement in sentiment in February, and new industrial orders and sales in Italy fell more sharply than expected. Earlier, Asian shares closed mixed. The fourth thing to know today is oil prices hold near 2019 highs. In commodities, oil prices stayed near their highest levels of the year as supply cuts led by producer cartel OPEC continued to support sentiment in crude markets. International Brent crude oil futures were at $66.21 per barrel, down 28 cents, or about 0.4% from the last close, but still not far off the 2019 high of $66.83 a barrel hit in the previous session. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude oil futures rose 36 cents, or around 0.6%, to $56.34 a barrel, within sight of a 3-month high of $56.55. And the fifth thing to note today is Walmart reports earnings. Walmart is one of the last notable names slated to report quarterly results as the fourth quarter earnings season winds down. The retail giant is expected to post earnings of $1.33 per share on revenue of $138.81 billion for the 3 months to January 31st, according to analysts polled by Investing.com when it reports before the opening bell. U.S. same-store sales are expected to rise 3% from a year earlier. Investors will be closely watching the results to see whether its ongoing efforts to take on Amazon in the online retail space are paying off. Other notable companies reporting results today include Advance Auto Parts, Medtronic, and Herbalife. Our second story today is from NASDAQ.com. China allows barley imports from Uruguay. Chile has allowed imports of corn and barley from Uruguay starting this month, 2 separate notices from the General Administration of Customs said on Tuesday. Barley that meets quarantine requirements can be imported from February 15th, the first notice said. Uruguayan corn can enter China from February 18th, according to the second customs notice. The new trade move came as Beijing pushes to diversify imports amid rocky trade relations with its major grain suppliers, including the United States and Australia. It also imposed a 25% tariff last July on a list of U.S. products, including corn and sorghum, 2 other major animal feed ingredients, in response to similar moves by Washington. Beijing and Washington have resumed trade talks following a truce agreed on by leaders of the 2 countries on December 1st, but China's hefty penalties on U.S. grain cargoes remain effectively curbing trade. Beijing also approved corn and barley imports from Kazakhstan in late November of last year. Our final story today is from MarketWatch.com. Bitcoin trades at a 5.5-week high near 4,000. Bitcoin prices moved higher on Tuesday, extending a hot streak that has seen the best-known cryptocurrency log 4 successive winning sessions and reaching its highest level in 6 weeks. On Tuesday, a single Bitcoin fetched $3,883.80, or up 0.9% since Monday 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the Kraken exchange. The digital currency traded to an intraday high of $3,951.40, its highest level since January 10th. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Tuesday, February 19th, 2019, your options news rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Trade smart and have a great week.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/the The Options Insider or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.